season, great receiver. First season, did his thing, little quarterback troubles. But we got Trey Tucker, wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders in the building. Trey, how you feeling?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me on here.
Absolutely, Trey. And, Super Bowl this year, in Vegas, had a great season. Well, didn't finish maybe how you wanted it, but how does it feel having the Super Bowl here in your host city?
It feels great. Obviously, jokingly, we don't like who's in it, but, like I said, congrats to them. They deserve a real good team, but it's just really good for the city of Vegas. You know what I mean? It's really good for the city, and I couldn't think of nothing more as my first year here for the Super Bowl to be here. It's a cool opportunity. Cool to be talking to you guys here, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for it.
Yes, indeed. And how was it with the change in the culture from the Josh McDaniels era to the Antonio Pierce interim era? How did that change affect you and your teammates?
For sure. I'd say first and foremost, I have the utmost respect for Josh. He's taught me a lot of things, accelerated, my development, demanded a lot of me as I do myself. So respect to him. But I would just say, it's just different. The NFL's at a different age now. That I play in, I would just say it's more, players, coaches type thing. AP plays.
Yeah.
He understands it. He gets it, and it's just a different response that we get out of him. Sometimes you might not get with other coaches, and sometimes that shoe just might not fit. So AP just brings a lot to the table for us. You know what I mean? Just his energy, his passion. Like, I can tell you, I remember the first day he got the job. The next day we went full pads. In the middle.
Really? Y'all went full pads the next day?
It was like,
oh man,
it was a short week, and we were in pretty much full pads. We were shoulder pads, helmets. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much full pads. But the point of that is just like to show, like, this is what we need. We need to grind. I mean, and we ended up playing the Giants that week, and I'm sure you guys can look up the results.
Oh yeah, you blew them out. Yeah.
So for that to happen, like, I just remember the intensity. Like, I'm like, man, I needed that, because sometimes you might need it.
Right.
As the season goes, you be smarter about it. But like,
so a coach of his style, the player coach type. The guys respect that type of where he brings the fire and brings the heat and holds you guys accountable.
For sure, 100%. Because like he gets it. That's like like my receiver coach, EB. I love him to death. Best receiver coach I've had. He's played the game of football at this level. So like things that he says, I respect and understand, because he knows. Obviously the game could be a little different, but it's still the overall respect of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And knows how your body feels, knows what you need at a certain period of time of the season, what this emotion feels like when this happens. So it's just easier to connect, man. And just guys buy in. We're in the NFL. We're the top 1%. So it's not really a much that you have to do like in college, where you have to develop these guys. Yeah, you do still, culture and that type of thing. But just you want to be able to lead and motivate these guys who play at this level and make what they make. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
You talked about being there, AP being a player, turning into a head coach, and you see that a lot in the communications and media as well. Being a player, and now a lot of players are taking over the media game as well. Is there any business ventures that you're, as a current player, obviously focused on football first, but are there any other current business things that you're doing to kind of stay with you and stick with you for your post career?
Yeah, I've always been a lover of business. I always said if I didn't play football, that's what I would want to do. And business is business. I always said, like, people are like, what do you mean by that? It's so broad. There's a lot of things you can do. You want to have a lot of different things that you do. So for me, it's a bunch of things, and that's kind of what I use in my offseason to do. Train really hard, but in my free time, read books, learn new things. You know what I mean? This career doesn't last 30 years. So everyone knows that. So just continue to educate myself and put myself in the best position to, when it's all said and done, I'm doing the things that I love to do, just like I love to fish.
Absolutely.
One of the questions I was thinking from the season when AP took over Antonio Pierce, and now he's not the interim, he's now the official, the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. When he got into it with one of the defensive players, and the next day they released him, what kind of message did that send to the overall team?
It's just like, it's just like AP always says, we want the best players out there. We want to win. This isn't just some people are here because of this certain thing. Like, we want the best 11 out there. We want to win. If you're not helping the team in that way, then you're just wasting our time and his time. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the message I got, and I love that because I want to win as well.
You can't live on your name. You gotta put up or shut up.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And especially the culture that we have, the AP's creating, the Raider way, if you're not really fitting that, then like I said again, then it's wasting the team's time and his time. And I understand it. It's business, business.
Right,
That's just
right.
the cost of doing business. I always say so.
It's interesting because what you're describing is the way coaches used to be. Every team had coach in the NFL in the 70s and partially the 80s were like that.
Yeah.
They held their players accountable. You see them, they'll cuss them out on the field or whatever. If something happened, and the players never really talk back unless it was something really going on, something extra. But I'm starting to see that evolve now. Now you're starting to see the Antonio Pierce type of coaching come back. And you're seeing more players being held accountable.
Right.
And you see what happens on the teams where they're not held accountable.
Right.
You see it turns into a losing season, and the coaches are released and fired in the whole 9 yards.
100%.
What's your goals for next season?
First and foremost, obviously, I have personal goals. I don't share those with people.
Okay.
But I would just say, first and foremost is doing whatever I can for the team. Obviously, I'm expected to have a bigger role next year. So whatever that may look like, capitalize on it. And knowing that when I'm out there, I'm going to give my best effort, put my best foot forward. Because ultimately, if I do that, then it takes care of the rest. You know what I mean? It helps everybody else do what they need to do. Just continue to become a leader. I'm only in my second year.
Right. Oh, wow.
Being a
That's
leader
great.
looks a million different ways. I'm not Devontae Adams status, but in my own way, I can be a leader in a certain way. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say.
There you go. And how's Devontae Adams been as a teammate, working with him and learning his skill, his techniques, and how he practices?
Yeah, that's my big brother, man. I can't thank him enough. He's a big part of the reason that I was able to have the success I had. You know what I mean? Just understanding like my skill trait and understanding like he knows that. Like I'm not Devontae Adams stuff.
Right.
Devontae Adams is not my speed. You know what I mean? So taking stuff from his game, you know what I mean? Because that's the big part. His releases, how he runs route, his thought process. That's really what it is. A lot of it's mental. Understanding DB's levers, where he's doing, what covers in. Because if you know that, then you can play fast. So I can't thank him enough, man. He's been great. Best of all time to me. Best of the league for sure. Like I said, he's a big brother to me. I have nothing but utmost respect.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on Real Deal Sports Show. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and we look forward to having you back again in the near future.
Sounds good. Appreciate y'all for having me. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
I think we'll see you next year because the Bills. I think we play the AFC West.